I was about to get worried. I said, now I know I saw that we had a meeting.
Oh, you know I'd be here. How you doing?
I cannot complain. Well, I'm not going to complain.
Oh, I can, but I just no need nobody to complain to, because everybody I'd complain to got the same complaints that I've got. So it'd just be a pity party. So we'll just skip that part. And my little group, they are presenting their first case study tonight. They are very limited. They're a master's group that you'll have next semester. I'm gonna holler duck. Look out right now. They're not a bad group, but boy, they're by far the most limited group we've had in a long time.
Right.
I hate that, but they just are. They don't know much. And you can't judge them based on the add-ons, because they're just masters. That's one thing, but there's some young ones in there that you kind of understand, but then there's some that old enough they ought to know more than they do, I'm afraid.
Right.
I hope it's just an anomaly. I enjoy working with them. Now, I'm not complaining about having them. They're just very limited. And that's okay.
But do you think that is our now forever?
Yes.
You know?
That's where I'm headed with this. I think this may be our now forever. People that I think that we would one time have gotten know what an impossible task it is now, and they don't want to be. It seems like the ones that don't know any better are the ones that are getting in it now. The ones that know a little better, they know that it's not the time to be doing this.
Right.
And if the pendulum swings back, they may come back. But right now, some of the more capable ones, are unfortunately going to be out. I talked with Will Raines today. Will called me said he was dropping out today. And part of it is like with him as well, in that he's very busy at his school. They put a lot more on him, but he'd still be able to handle it. But he's got some form of long haul COVID that struck him down this past week. You got to be careful about the questions that you ask. I don't know how long ago he had COVID,
Right.
but he missed 3 days this past week, and he basically still can't work in terms of he's having migraine headaches. Never before had a headache in his life, he said, of any kind. And now he's having migraines and having to sit in a dark room or lay in a dark room. Right. And so I told him his only option was to take a medical withdrawal. He doesn't have any, they don't know what's causing this, and he's not been able to get any relief. And so, I don't know what else to advise him to do. Right. And we've got some of that. People are tired. People are sick. Another round of COVID. And now, the ones with long haul COVID. So, we can say it's over, but we're still feeling the effects of that. Plus, a lot of folks don't want to do it now. They've decided that maybe this is not the career path for them with all that's going on with COVID and the drama that it's bringing to the schoolhouse door. So I think we're getting what we're going to get. And I think our numbers are going to be down. I'm still with you. I talked to Dr. Bull Saturday in Charlotte, and of course he had been sending information back from the conference that he was in for us to look at. I told him we could go back and revive the add-on program for counselors, social workers, and psychologists. That'd bring a few more in.
Right.
But we can't do a degree with them. We could do the old add-on with them. We could do that, but I'm not sure how many of those folks are going to want to do this.
Mhm.
I can tell you in 10 years that I've been doing this, this has been the most challenging beginning I have
Mhm.
ever had.
Mhm.
It is, and Kathy and I have talked about that. It is just, and the caliber of work that they're doing is just, I don't know. We're having to say the same thing over
Yeah.
and over and over and over again. I just had a conference this afternoon, Kathy, with Terrence, and he's the one that came on. And I just told him, I said, Terrence, I said, this is unacceptable. I said, now we want to help you and we want you to be successful. I said, but I can't keep doing, and I will not keep doing what I'm doing on a weekly basis for you and with you. And I told him, I said, now you've got to step up to the plate or you've got to make some decisions.
Yeah.
But it's just, and everybody is almost everybody. Well, I've got so much on me. Well, you're the one that chose this. I mean, you
Yeah,
signed up
yeah.
for it.
Yeah. Yeah. We're not going to change what we do.
Danny, is that Terrence Thornton?
Yeah, Terrence Thornton. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like him, but he's just, and I told him, I said, Terrence, I said, I can tell when you're working and when you're not working. I said, for the most part, I said, and you're waiting until Saturday evening or Sunday most of the time. I said, to get your work done. I said, and you're half sending me anything. And I said, you're stressing or whatever. I said, you've got to decide whether you want to do this or not. And if you don't, that's okay, but you've got to make a decision. I said, but you can't survive like this.
No.
When I met with him finally, I told him, I said, now Terrence, you can't wait till the end now. You got to stay together. You got to stay up on it. You can't wait till the last day because it's going to pile up on you. I keep telling him, I said, this is not an easy
No,
thing. This is a
exactly.
program, and it's not supposed to be an easy
It's
program.
not supposed to be.
I said, but if you would just get your routine down, it'll be easier for you
Well,
that way, but you still got to do your work. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I understand.
Well, he's heard it from you. He's heard it from Kathy.
Right.
He's heard it from me. He's heard it
Well,
from me twice already.
The problem is, you remember at the very beginning, we talked, you discussed about him that you couldn't, and then I finally got, because he actually had moved to another place. But you're gonna have your work cut out there.
Well,
He told Kathy and me that one of the reasons that he was late getting started, that they were celebrating the 1-year anniversary of his mother-in-law's death.
Mm-hmm.
celebrating.
Each his own. Each his own.
Oh, no, that's ugly.
Now I'm
That's-
like Dale now. I'm like Dale. I can't make that up.
Celebrating. Oh, my Lord.
Danny, you've been hanging around Dale too long.
Yeah,
starting
you
to talk
have.
like him.
I can't make that up.
Well,
Those Dale-isms are sticking with me now.
I'm telling you what, can't make that. Well, it's just like I told Will today. I mean, he's been, he's called me today. He's, he missed work last week and he's still not, I mean, he's already a week or two behind. There ain't no making it up. I mean, if you can't get behind. And he said, before I started this program, I called you and he said, you were dead on your estimate. It takes 20 hours a week to do this. And I said, yeah, it does. And that's not going to change. And you can't get that 20 hours back. You don't know when he's going to get better or if they're going to get him some medicine. So I told him, you just need to do a medical withdrawal.
Yeah.
You need to belabor this thing and owe a bunch of money and not get through the class. If you want to come back later on, you need to get out as quick as you can because they're going to prorate charge you.
Right. And Daryl's not going to make it in 605, Dale. There is no way.
No, Daryl's
Go
not.
back. He's not done
He
anything for
quit
me.
this summer, so.
And he didn't do anything this summer, or he told Kathy and me that he had a lot of work that he just hadn't submitted yet. Well, he was supposed to do an action plan, create one for himself and send it to Kathy to how he could get caught up in whatever. Kathy, what was that 2 weeks ago, Kathy? You've not heard from him either, have you?
No.
Who was that? Daryl who?
Owens. Daryl's not gonna make it. He quit this summer. He's
I was
just playing
thinking,
out
I remembered something about him this summer.
Yeah, he's just playing out the string now. He must be getting financial aid or something. He's just playing out the string. We'll have to, we'll just end him.
Well, I don't like, I don't like that, but now
But
he's,
there's,
I mean, I don't, there's nothing else we can do for him hardly.
that's what I mean. We can't, so, and that leads us into, I'm gonna talk out of order here, to attendance. What we'll have to do, let me take this call right quick. I'm on Zoom. I'll call you right back. All right. And so, we had the graduate meeting last week, the graduate faculty. They made a big point about attendance. Let me share my screen. Jamal, how's Grayson? He good?
He is well enough to ask me for Robux every other day.
Well, he's all right then. He's ready to
Yeah,
go.
he's well. Thank you.
Good. Good. Let me see. So, our agenda last week was pretty much, reminding everybody that they want us to take attendance every week and attendance violate them and do all that business. It's about money and, what they don't want is to come to the end and then them withdraw and say they didn't attend it or hadn't turned their work in. They don't want that. So we're having to keep attendance. When they hit 5 absences, we're supposed to attendance violate them. And so I'm going to talk about that in just a minute. And so they referred us back to the policy, which says a minimum of 1 activity per week for online classes that demonstrate attendance, such as submitting assignment, attending a webinar, or participating in a discussion board. Well, we don't do webinars. So here's the notion. This is what I do. So I'm going to go to discussion board in my 603 class. What I do is I set up a weekly activity for an assignment, plus, so I have 15 of those or 16, plus I stretch out my turn it ins for the evidence work. I've got 15 of those. So my point is, if they do a weekly assignment or if they turn in an evidence task for review, we can either one of those, and I have 2 of those, 1 of each every week. So if they get behind on one or the other, as long as they do one and stay up, we're okay. Because the policy says we can count. We don't just have to count a weekly attendance assignment. We can count a weekly discussion board. We can count an assignment, like a task. We can count any of that as attendance. Now, you should know how to link that to Grade Center. That's the trick here. Make sure that everything that you have in discussion board is linked to Grade Center, that we give it a grade and we can count it. Now, if it's not linked to Grade Center, we can't count it for attendance. And, I can walk you through doing that. I think everybody knows how to do that. When you set up those activities or threads in discussion board, make sure that you link them to Grade Center so we can count it as an attendance. That's the trick.
Dale, I think we got Nyrie's attention.
Yeah.
I think she worked all night long, but I don't care. That was her fault.
That's up to her. We're going, they're really cracking down on this attendance business. So we're going to have to, if they're not, and when they hit 5, we're going to have to attendance violate them. But we can count anything that we've got in Grade Center. And so make sure you link everything in discussion board back to Grade Center and give it a grade so we can count it as attendance, because they're monitoring this real close. That was the big deal at the grad faculty. So I'm going to do one right quick in case, I know all y'all know, but in case we have somebody that watches this video later. And so when you set up your discussion board and you create a forum, and I'm just going to call this one example. And the task for them to do is complete OMA task 1, and they would upload it here, and then grade discussion forum, put everything on a 100-point basis. And always allow author to delete on post, all post. And then, move this out of the way. And then submit. And so that way it's linked to GradeSync. And there it will be right there. And they just upload their complete task 1, upload it, and it's linked to Grade Center that way. Now, if you have some that aren't linked, simply click the little arrow at the end and edit and go in and link them to Grade Center. If you've got existing tasks that are not, or existing things in your discussion board that aren't linked to Grade Center, you can go in at the end and edit them and add them to Grade Center. So let me delete this one right quick.
So Dr. Lamb, when you do that, when you're trying to go through and edit the ones you've already got in there,
Yeah,
what's the tag that makes it go to Grade Center? Can you
Right
show that
here.
one more?
I'll show you. I'll do one that shows it. To edit
Okay.
it, an existing one. As you scroll down, it will ask you grade.
Okay,
No, it'll say no grading in forum. Click on
Okay.
grade discussion forum and put 100 points in.
thank you.
Yeah, and also be sure when you do that to allow author to delete their own post, all posts. If you don't do that and they put a second one in, it'll lock up because it won't allow them to put a second. So if you'll let them do that, they can delete if they need to, or if they put the wrong one in. Always when you put something in Grade Center, allow them to delete their own post. And
So I
it'll
guess
save
the
you a lot
days
of
of,
heartache in the end.
The days of uploading 5 and 6 assignments that are laid at one time are over.
Yeah, they don't like that. Or if they've got some, we got to remind them.
Yeah.
I gotta have that chat with my group tonight. I've got some that are holding some that they gotta keep something going every week, or we can't count them present for that week. And so they're really on me about attendance, or on all of us about attendance. So that's a quick and easy way to add some more opportunities for them to show that they were there that week. Is to link everything in discussion board back to Grade Center. All right, and I'll talk about turn it in later. I don't think we have anybody. I need to work with my new one about turn it in, how to get the turn it in score.
No.
So I think everybody else knows how to do turn it in. And then the last thing on my list that I was going to start with, where are we with CC1 visits? We pretty much done with those, or are they going well, or
I'm through.
good? Good.
Dale,
I know.
I've got 2 that I could never get a hold of. A Jennifer Wojcik. She's in Cary at the central office. I've talked to her.
I think she dropped out. Let me
Well,
share my screen.
First of all, the number was no such number. And the other one is Davia Wilkins. She's at Vance County High Middle School. I called her, gave her email, left a message, everything, and still got no response back. Davia Wilkins.
I've got somebody that's in Zimbabwe. Do y'all recognize that? I think Dr. Bullis and have her.
She's where?
Well, her name, I hate to crucify somebody's name, but it's Debola.
She dropped out.
She did drop.
She
Okay,
dropped.
let me tell you
and
my
looks
other ones,
like
because I've only got
Wilkins
4
dropped.
that I hadn't been able to get up with. What about?
And I know Wojcik dropped, and Adebola dropped, and Davia Wilkins. So those are all out.
Who's
Davia
Wilkins? Wait a minute. Let me see if I got her.
Wilkins.
Jessica Wilkins dropped. Oh, okay.
No, Jessica's still in.
Oh, okay.
It
Well,
was
I hadn't been able to
Davia
get
that
with her.
Okay, so
I still need Jessica Wilkins,
She's still on the list. Let me go to my second list here.
But you said that one person that, Boya or whatever her
Yeah,
name
she
is,
dropped.
she dropped. Okay, now let me, give me just, I've got 4.
Let me look at this. Yeah, Jessica Wilson is still on the stipend report,
Okay. Okay, I'll actually make.
and she's still on Crystal
All right.
report, so.
What about, Kelly Holden?
I have Kelly.
Who does?
She's still showing.
But no, maybe. I
Then
thought
you got her in
I
class?
don't know. I've got a Kelly. Her name.
Yeah,
her name-
she's in Danny's class. Kathy's got her as coach. Let me check
Okay,
Crystal
all right, I'll
report.
still keep trying to get with her. What about,
Let's see, Holden. Let me make sure
Okay.
she's still on this report.
Kathy, help me remember
Yep, yep.
to say something about that to any of
Yeah.
them.
And then the
tomorrow.
last
Dr.
one-
Kell in Charlotte.
uh-huh,
Yeah, she's still on the list.
Angelica Davis.
Angelica
I had
Davis is still on the Crystal report.
Okay, well,
Let me check.
that's my 4, and you're saying one of them dropped, so I just lack 3.
Okay, let me check Davis to make sure she's still on the stipend report. Yep,
Okay, I've just got those 3, so
okay,
I'll work on them again tomorrow, and then I'll
yep,
send my
yep.
assurance form.
yeah. So this week's drops were Naomi Gallman, Benita Martin, and Will Gaines dropped today. He was the one that I talked to today. What's his name? Wait a minute.
I think it's Will Raines, R-A-I-N-S.
Raines, not Gaines, Raines, that's right. Will Raines. Yeah, right here. He dropped today, medical. He's the one that's got the crud. Yeah.
Okay, I saw one up there on your list, Payne,
Mm-hmm.
Tequila Payne. Did I see my name there? Or something? But she's not on my list.
She's not a new one. She's a returning one.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Okay, sorry. I thought I'm looking at this,
Yeah, she's a returning.
she's one of my
one.
old ones. Okay,
She's in one of your old ones.
okay.
But I hate to say it, but we're not going to send you to see her.
Okay.
She's in Seoul, South Korea.
Okay, thank you.
So we're not going to send you. She
I'll go.
was in Charlotte, but she's in Seoul now, so we're not.
So I've still got
I
that
zoomed with
4
her.
and one of them's dropped, so I've still got 3.
Yeah.
Which is pretty good, I think.
Mhm. Not bad. Not bad. For those of you who've been out in schools, is it as bad as it was? I perceive that everybody's just on edge when you go out there, the ones that I've visited. So I think what Jill and I are going to do with that 604 group that I'm coaching of hers, the Gaston group, the special group, she says that she just wants to visit them, that it might be a little too much drama if I go out and visit, but I do want to go out and see some more of them. I know a lot of their administrators, but they're just, they're trying to limit access. They said everybody's stressed right now.
Mhm.
So I feel bad about that. I would like to go make some more visits with them. I've visited a few of them, but everybody's just kind of on edge right now. So
Well,
the
I
best we
talked
can
to
do.
somebody, they're quitting left and right.
exactly.
I mean, they are just people, they're just saying, I can't do it anymore.
Well, we had 3 that dropped. That one in the central office, she got moved. Something happened to her, and then we had one. Her principal said, I said I'd do this, but I won't."
No, these are teachers in
Yeah,
I'm talking
I
about
know,
teachers in the
because-
classroom. Yeah, yeah.
the administrator said that they're just overwhelmed. And so with all the teachers, that one was at a charter school and said the principal was having to teach that class. So she didn't have time to do interns. So it seems like that. And one of the things that I think, and it's just Dale's opinion, if you panic as an administrator, everybody in the building panics. I perceive that a lot of that's going on right now as well. People can't hold their water.
Right.
It don't matter how bad it is, you got to show up and have the game face on. You might be paddling like heck underneath the water, but you got to be like a duck on the surface, just calm. But administrators are panicking, I'm afraid. And that's causing faculties to panic. And there's this sense of desperation out there. And of course, I guess if you're in bad enough shape, but it doesn't matter how bad it gets, you can't ever let them see you sweat. Is always what I figured. Of course, that may be different in full disclosure. It's a different job than when I was there. So I'll say that, and some of you, but you can't let them, I perceive that some administrators are just, they're on the edge, and they're putting that out in their building. And so teachers are now on the edge, and everybody is just to their breaking point, ready to snap. I don't know if principal being calm could fix that or not, but it's certainly not helping that some of the principals are losing their grip.
But Dale, what they don't understand is some of these interns could actually be a free administrator for them. And
That's exactly,
but you've got some administrators that are gung ho about that, but you got other administrators that, be honest, shouldn't be there in the first place.
That's exactly right. That's exactly right. Exactly right. That's my point. Here's free labor. How are you not smart enough to understand that? But you're exactly right. If you can't hold your water, you don't need to be an administrator. If you go home with wet pants every day, this is not the job for you if you can't hold your water. And so, but you're exactly right, Rod. This is an opportunity for you to get some free labor, to get some people to some extras. I won't talk about my experiences, but from my perspective, I used to free the young ones. I'd take them out a semester time out of class. Jamal knows, Eastway was scattered all over buildings and around. We had such a spread out campus. I'd get the youngest, most fit ones and take them out and just have them running. We called it dragging the line, because, from one end of that campus to the other is the better part of a mile. Time you start down at the road and go all the way to the backside of the gym over there, and, trying to keep them and run them, and that's what I did. I just basically made them interns.
And let's not forget the cemetery across the street.
Cemetery across the street, the backside of the food line in the front door, where the shopping center in the front. So you had to monitor all the way from the cemetery to the food line. And that is a mile at least, in multiple buildings, places to hide, places to get off campus. I mean, it was, the first thing I asked for when I went there was a fence. And they said, no, that'd be a bad public relations move. And I said, not as bad as having to go get them out of the buildings, somebody else's place all the time, it seemed to me like. And so I'm serious. I basically created young interns. We called them assistant to the principal, freed them up, and just had them out running. I mean, if nothing else, doing that. That frees you up to do other things that might be a little bit higher level, but I don't know. I guess people don't know how to do things like that.
And my high school had woods around it, so
yeah,
they went to the woods.
Yeah, either loving or fighting or both.
And if those woods could talk, they could tell us some stories.
Oh, yeah, that sounds like North Med. Yeah, back in the day before they cleared around it, it was just an Apache woods. Yeah, that is true. So it's a tough time. I don't know. We had the meeting last Wednesday on enrollment. It did not look good, as I knew it would. I'm thinking we're not going to have but 2 add-ons and 1 regular in the spring. or 20 and 12, whatever you want to call them now. I mean, that's all it looks like to me. They think that they're going to get hundreds. I think they're going to get tens. So not an auspicious start to the recruiting season. Wasn't very much. And so the person that's now in charge of recruitment, enrollment, admissions for the whole university met with us, her and her sidekick last Wednesday, and their plan is to have us recruit. So, and try to do more partnerships with organizations. Well, but the problem is when we suggest those things, nobody wants to do it. So I don't know how to fix their problem. Certainly KTA doesn't either. So I don't see a lot of value from them, but that's just my opinion. So, but we'll soldier on with what we got, but we're not going to change our program to make it easier. That's not the solution. They need to be prepared when they get out there. We can't contribute to the problem by putting people who are ill prepared out in the field. We're not going to do that. That's of no value. All right. Anybody have anything else for the good of the group? I appreciate you all being with us. Appreciate what you do.
Dale, can I stay behind with you and Danny for 1 second?
Sure.
All right.
Sure.
I told Kathy that our reviews probably will be the worst we've ever had this time because we've had to stay on them so hard. But
Well, I had two this summer. Two of our folks that worked with us this summer, and their reviews were terrible, but they just had to beat it out of. And Danny, you've got them in 605 now. So and Steve, y'all know what I'm talking about.
Well, all of them are doing except for Daryl in that group.
Yeah.
Now Reed, we got her attention, so I think she'll be okay from this point on.
All righty. All right. So everybody else, we'll see you. All right, Jamal. I'm gonna pause.